I'm waiting for the market to crash. Prices are gonna come down soon. It's happened before, it'll happen again. If this sounds like you and you're planning on waiting for the market to crash, you're making a big mistake. Watch this video to find out why. Hey guys, Jason Rains with RE/MAX Elite Realtors here in the greater Kansas City area. Welcome to the channel. Now, if this is your first time, make sure to subscribe, click the little bell so you're notified every time I drop a new video, okay? We do video tours of different neighborhoods. We do some talking style videos like we're doing today. Just great information if you're looking to move to the greater Kansas City area. And if that's you, if you are looking to move to the greater Kansas City area, I would love to help. So make sure to reach out. I'm getting a ton of phone calls, emails, and texts every single week, and I want that to be you as well. So you need to shoot me a text or give me a call at the phone number below or the email. Just reach out and know I got your back when moving to Kansas City. Now let's get to it. Here's why you don't want to wait. Okay, I was recently reading an article that said the average home in the United States went over $400,000 for the first time ever. Now here locally in the greater Kansas City area, the average price of a home is $300,000, but that varies greatly depending on not only the city we're talking about, but sometimes even the specific neighborhood within a city, okay? The article went on to say that in the last 2 years, so from homes that were bought in 2020 till now, the price of a home has gone up 26.5%. Now that's nationally, okay? Here in our area, from 2020 to 2021, homes rose about 8 to 10% in value. From 2021 to 2022, that number was closer to 15 to 18% in value. And this year in 2022, we're looking at somewhere between 10 and 15%. Now that's compounding, so that's 10 to 15% on top of the 15 to 18% from last year, and that's on top of the 8 to 10% the year before. So if we do the math, and we're talking about a $300,000 house that was bought in 2020, now you're talking about another 10% in 2021, so that's 330, and then up to another 20% the next year. So now we're gonna add on another $66,000 on top of that. Now we're at 399. And so roughly 400,000. Now we're talking another 10% this year. Now we're up to 440. So that house that in 2020 went for $300,000 today, or by the end of 2022, could cost as much as $440,000. Quite the jump. Does this fast moving increase in home pricing mean we're headed for a crash? I don't think so, and here's why. Simple economics of supply and demand, okay? Even last fall, here in Kansas City, we had around 4,000 homes on the market on the weekends. Right now, we're only hitting at 2,500 homes on the weekend, okay? So supply is way down while demand is still up and actually continuing to increase. And those numbers may not mean a whole lot when I start talking about 4,000 homes or 2,500 homes, but let me put this into perspective for you. A healthy market in the greater Kansas City area is 12,000 homes on the market. That's a healthy, balanced market. That is something we have not seen in a long time, and honestly, I don't think we're gonna see it again for a very long time. This high demand and this low supply are going to continue to have prices increasing. Now, again, year after year, we're gonna see some fluctuation. Certain points of the year, maybe prices don't go up as fast. Other times prices are gonna go up faster. But in the end, it's supply and demand. And when we have more buyers and we have less homes on the market, prices are going to continue to rise. Now you might say, well, what about the crash of 06 to 10? Don't you see us going back to that? Honestly, I don't. One of the big reasons for that is lenders, okay? Lenders back in 06, 08 were very, very loose with their loan requirements. You could literally walk in, tell a lender, hey, I want to buy this house. I make $600,000 a year, and they weren't even requiring proof of what you said you were making. So now they're giving you a loan to go buy this huge house. A lot of people are doing ARM type loans, so the payment would stay consistent for 3 years, and at the end, or 5 years, 3 or 5 years, and at the end, you would owe this huge balloon payment. Well, you were barely affording the house because you gave false information on what you were actually making, so you could maybe barely make the house payment for those first 3 years, but then at the end, when that big balloon payment came due, you couldn't afford it. And now you owe more on the house than the house is actually worth, and we start looking at bankruptcy. That's what we saw back in 08. The market was flooded with these bankrupt homes, and we just had a massive influx of supply on the market all at once. That's not what we're seeing right now. Lenders are much, much harder on their restrictions, requirements for what it takes to get a loan, because they don't want the same thing to have happen now as happened a decade ago. Sellers also have massive amounts of equity in their home right now, okay? So that's in stark contrast to what happened in 06 to 2010 when they didn't have a lot of equity. They were forced to sell and they owed more than the house was worth, hence bankruptcy. Now, I recently had a seller client that participated in the forbearance program. Now, there was a couple different ways that was set up depending on your lender or depending on the lenders, but the option that her lender had her in was at the end of the forbearance, which was like 6 or 8 months for her, she owed those entire 6 to 8 months worth of mortgage right when the forbearance ended. Guys, the payments were hard during that forbearance period for this seller anyway, let alone trying to come up with 6 to 8 months worth of payments at the very end and paying that all at once. She didn't have it. She knew that the house was going to be foreclosed on. She was going to lose it. So before we got to that point, or before she got to that point, we listed the home. We did all the marketing. We went through all those steps. We sold the home. She was able to actually make money on the property, go on to her next step. She moved in with some family for a little bit, and then she was going to rent until she got her feet back under and could afford a new house. Had she been foreclosed on, that would have gone on credit. She wouldn't have been able to buy another house for a couple years, and it just would have gone down a whole rabbit hole that she didn't want to go to. But because she had so much equity in her home, we were able to sell it and get her out from under that before it turned into a really bad situation. Still on the supply side of things, new construction is actually causing a lack of supply of homes. Now, it may sound kind of weird, but historically, when we look back over the past 100 plus years, in like the 1930s, there were about 5 million new construction homes built. Now, after that, from 1940s all the way through 2010, that number was over 20 million new construction homes a year. So we went from 5 million for one decade to 20 to 25 million for decades upon decades upon decades. And then 06 to 08 happened, and from 2010 to 2019, we were back down to 5 million new construction home being built, okay? So just a huge decrease in the number of new homes being built. And then you add in and factor in on that the supply chain issues that everyone's facing right now, and it's just taking longer and longer for builders to build new homes. I have a client right now that's looking at maybe the possibility of doing a new construction home, and as we started looking at how long that process was gonna take, pre-COVID and pre-supply chain issues, you could really build a new home in 5 to 6 months. Now you're looking at more to 7, 8, 10, maybe even 12 months. And the particular builder that we were talking to is gonna be a custom home. They were at 14 to 16 months. So when you start taking into account how long it's taking to build every house, it's just gonna take that much longer until we're not seeing the supply issues that we're currently seeing when it comes to the number of homes on the market. Another reason to buy now and not wait for the market to crash are interest rates. Now, they were in, pre us shooting this video, they were in the upper 2s, low 3s. At the time of this video being shot, they're about 5%. Yes, that is higher, okay? And it does affect buying power for certain buyers, okay? But the Fed is talking about continuing to raise those rates all the way through the rest of 2022. So the longer you wait, the higher the interest rate's going to be. Now, at the end of the day, that's going to affect your buying power by about $200 to $300 per month on your mortgage, okay? Honestly, my opinion, if that $200 to $300 makes or breaks the purchase of the house that you're looking at, we're probably looking at the wrong house. We don't want to cut your budget so tight that you can barely afford it. So maybe we need to reevaluate exactly what it is you're looking for and exactly what it is your budget is in finding your next home. So when is this market going to slow down? When will there be less buyers and more inventory? Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be anytime soon, which is another reason why you don't want to wait for the market to crash, right? Part of this is millennials, okay? They are the largest population group since the baby boomers, and they are ready to buy now. Add on to this, corporate America is buying residential homes more and more and using them as investments for the first time ever. They're buying them up as fast as they can. They have massive amounts of money to spend. I know one corporate buyer right now with $82 million to spend, and all they're spending it on is buying residential homes. They're taking these homes, they're turning them into rentals. They're gonna keep them 2 to 3 years until, again, the values increase 10, 15% year after year after year, and then they're gonna sell them for an even higher amount than they bought them for. So until this slows down, I really don't see the disproportional supply and demand cycle breaking. And studies show that this is probably gonna last for at least another 2 to 3 years. So unless you're wanting to wait 2 or 3 years to buy a home, now is the time to buy versus waiting till later this year or even next year. Now, of course, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know what's gonna happen in 2 to 3 years. Maybe we do see a little bit more change than what's being predicted, okay? Or in 2 to 3 years, the market is even more complicated than it currently is. So you just never know, but my opinion, now is the time to buy. So what should buyers do, or what can they expect if they're wanting to buy a house right now? One, you might have to lower your expectations a little bit. Maybe we don't get in the exact neighborhood you wanted to be in, okay? Maybe we need to adjust your budget a little bit, up or down. If we're going up, remember, $10,000 may sound like a lot, but in all actuality, it only equals about $60 to $70, maybe $75 a month onto your overall mortgage payment. So if we were at $2,000 a month in a mortgage and you end up spending another $20,000 to get the house that you really, really wanted, then really we're looking at, instead of $2,000 a month, we're closer to that $2,150 on the high end. So again, just be a little bit flexible when we're looking at buying a house as far as areas and budgeting. Next is to be patient. Guys, sometimes it just takes a while to find that right house and get it under contract. Sometimes you have to write more than one offer. Don't get discouraged, be patient. More importantly is hire a real estate professional like me, right? No, but seriously, hire a real estate professional. 80% of home buyers hire the very first agent they talk to. And in Kansas City, with 13,000 agents, you just don't know what you're getting by hiring the first person you talk to. Of those 13,000 agents in Kansas City, the average agent does 5 deals per year. That's it, you guys, 5 deals a year. They're not even doing one transaction every other month. So ask that question when you're interviewing. One, definitely talk to more than one realtor. Talk to 1, 2, maybe even 3 till you find one that makes you feel good about the market and you feel like they know what they're talking about. But part of that is ask them what their game plan is to help get you under contract. And more importantly, ask them how many deals they had last year or the year before that, right? Make sure that they have the experience needed to get you the house that you want. As a side note, you don't have to use your cousin's, girlfriend's, brother's, best friend from high school, okay? They'll get over it, trust me. In the end, listen to the advice from your real estate professional on what it's taking to win deals in this market. That's it for today, guys. If you like this video and you like the information that I shared with you, make sure again to subscribe to the channel so you're seeing the other videos I put out. I have put out several other videos that have covered other topics. So if you like this one, make sure to look through the channel, watch some of those other videos. And when you're moving to Kansas City, I would love to be your go-to person. Again, I am a licensed agent in Missouri and in Kansas, and I got your back when moving to Kansas City. So make sure to reach out. Give me a call, shoot me a text, email, whatever at the information below. Simply reach out and allow me to assist you when moving to Kansas City. Until the next video, guys, we'll see you later.